Because a wedding is not just a day, it's a memory, it's a visual story, and it's style. It begs the question, how does a person translate a couple's love into confidence, style, and elegance? You're welcome to a hell of a podcast, and I am your delectable host, Lois Wobodo. On this episode, we'll be answering this question and much more because we have Joseph Dappa in the building. He's the creative director of Talk to Dappa Style Agency based out of Abuja. What he calls himself is an image architect. Trust me, I'm going to ask him what that means. But in short, he's a wardrobe stylist and he also partners with Signature Styling. You do not know what's in store, but you do know because this is a hell of a podcast. So, Joseph, you are welcome to a hell of a podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We are excited to see your very fine face. And just so you know, behind the scenes, he mentioned he's a sibling of Michael Dappa, the screen god of an actor. Oh my God. Hey, God. I'm trying really hard to contain myself, but I'm excited anyways. Welcome again. Welcome again. Tell him I said hi.
I will.
So let's get into the topic proper.
Okay.
Why did you decide to style people? When did you realize that styling people was something that was necessary, a must-have, and not a might-have?
Styling people was something that always came naturally to me. Right as a child, I would always want to tell people what to wear. Not necessarily like I had the knowledge of fashion, but like I just knew I love telling people what to wear. So I grew older, university, we started getting knowledge about fashion and improving our style basically. We noticed for it and people thought, okay, I could come to Joseph to, style him for, come to Joseph for him to style me for events like dinner nights and the rest. So they would come to me and it's as little as Joseph, does this tie match this jacket or like help me knot a tie and stuff like that. And that was where we picked it up from. Then, something we've been doing ever since then. I started styling professionally about 2-3 years ago. And I think it got to a point where I was like, this is something I'm always going to do. It's something that I do out of passion and all of that. Like, I don't get tired of it. So I was like, okay, we need to take it seriously. It's not just making money here and there, but like we need to make sure it's like a really good source of income, and it's been going well so far.
We're happy to hear that, aren't we? I bet we are. And you can see he looks like a stylist. I mean, there's a jacket, there's the, what you call a pendant. It's called a pendant, right?
It's called a brooch.
A brooch. Oh, pardon my English. So that's a very beautiful blue brooch. And then there's the neck piece. There's the silver jewelry. Take it easy on us now, Joseph.
I try.
Well, we're not surprised because we are at Bricks Point, so hey, the ambience is even better with your styling. Another question I'd like to ask you is, you partner with Signature Styling.
And yes, I'm the creative assistant of Signature Styling.
Okay, that's fine. How long have you been with them for?
I've been with them since April this year.
Okay. And you also own your own style agency.
Yes, at Signature is strictly weddings and bridals. Then at Talk to Dappa, we do editorials, we do runway, we do campaigns and event appearances. This year we started doing music videos. So like it's been a very busy year for me as a stylist.
Do you want to share with us one of those music video projects you've done? Maybe we can,
Okay, the first, let me tell you about the first music video project I did this year, because it was what opened doors to other ones. The first one was with David Askis, my very good friend who I met during NYC camp. So he reached out to me and he was like, okay, he has a new song coming out, and it's like he's a producer, but like but sometimes he produces like actually sings a song or rap or whatever you want to call it. So this year was one of those years, and he was like, okay, he needs visuals for it. And then he reached out to me and was like, okay, we need you to style it. So I said, okay, no problem, send me the song. And just, I know him very well, so I didn't have to do like a whole consultation call with him. Just send me the song, let me listen to it, then connect me with the video director. So I also get his project brief, so I know that everything is being interpreted very well. So I listened to this song, spoke to the project director, and he told me he wanted something that had, first of all, an African vibe. He also wanted something that had a hip hop vibe. I also wanted something like had like something leaning a bit towards corporate. So the song is titled Ego. So yeah, I took two interpretations from it. Ego, like the Igbo word to mean money, and ego to mean like pride and all of that. So the looks I created for the video were something that, portrayed it very well. I created three looks for him to do for the video shoot, then three extra looks to do for like the promotional photo shoot. So let's talk more about the videos. So the first look was an all black look where I had to customize a black jacket and turn it into like a whole fur jacket scene to, portray that, very rich aesthetic and all of that. Then the second look, I played more towards the vibe of coming to America, that African prince that, tries to blend the American style and African style. So there was African prints. There was a lot of prints. And it's one of my superpowers as a stylist, the ability to carefully and curatedly work with colors. So I was able to mix and match the colors that they work so perfectly well. And, it was able to translate very well on camera. Then the last look was where I now, gave him like a gangster look to the whole film, and that was where I had to get him. That last look was inspired by a look by Lewis Hamilton, who is a Formula One driver. So like one of his very popular looks. I had to take inspiration from there, put it together, and create something very edgy. And I took gold chains and customized the Timberland boots. My style, if you're working with me, you notice I do not like to use things as they come. I'm always customizing it. Like, you give me a jacket for a shoot and I just have to customize it. I don't like it like that. So that's it basically.
I'm learning so much. This feels like a lot. It feels like a lot. But I bet it's fun for you, is it?
It is.
It is, right?
Yeah.
So how do you balance individuality as in your agency and then the work you do? How do you balance those two so that they don't conflict? Because if you have to spend time shooting a music video, and then you have to be at work, how do you balance the two?
It's not easy, first of all, I'll say that. But I started styling in school, and for you to actively work as a stylist and be in school, you need to have to learn balance, because you might think it's after school hours, but I was a medical student. You have to read. So I had to learn how to balance my time and everything. And funny enough, this year I'm also doing my master's, so it's like been having to balance like different facets of my life. And over the years I've learned how to balance things. And when I feel it's getting too much, I look at what's in front of me, what can take a back burner now, while the others are actively focused on. Put something on the back burner and we focus on what we have to focus on. When there's breathing space, we now take it up. And the one thing I would advise anyone is to always have personal breaks. Yes, because burnout is very, very real.
For creative especially.
Yes, you want to make money. We all want to make money. We all want to create beautiful works and put it out there. But if you do not take personal breaks for yourself, you're going to experience that burnout. And sometimes unfortunately, it can show up in the work you put out during that period. there'll be lack of creativity and
Yeah.
all of that. And so this year, how I take my personal breaks is I run away to my mom's place. Seeing her always energizes me and
Aww,
just
how cute.
puts me in a very happy space.
Okay.
So whenever I feel like I want to run away from the world, I just go to her place.
Yeah.
If I use my phone, it's just to play games. I'm watching TV with her. But most of the time I'm just sleeping and just re-energizing myself to get back and get to work.
That's good to know. And it's commendable that you're taking personal breaks.
Thank you.
Speaking of school, I gather you went to Nigerian University.
Yes, I did.
And you just divulged to us that you studied medicine.
I didn't study medicine. I was in the medical field, anatomy.
What's the difference?
It's a branch of medicine.
Okay, so can we safely call you anatomical stylist? Am I right? Or medical stylist? Which one?
You can try.
I mean, you can add it to your brand. It could just stand you out, instead of just saying creative stylist. It can just be medical stylist or something.
I mean, like
something too.
I don't know, but like if you check my bio on Instagram or whatnot,
Yeah.
you see image architect, you see Abuja's premier fashion stylist and all of that. I've never really thought to tie in the anatomy into it, but I think it's something
we can try.
we can try.
We can try. I mean, if you could add architect to image, you can as well add anatomy to image or styling. Why did you choose to niche down to bridal wardrobe styling?
Okay, to be very transparent here, the wedding space has money. And as I learned from my very good friend, famous Isaacs, the passion is making money. It is not photography, it is not fashion styling, it is not whatever it is. Passion is making money. If you are not making money, what are we passionate about?
Oh wow, so, that's a new one.
Like exactly. So like to be very cut and clear, that was one of the core factors as to why I decided to go into bridal styling. But going into bridal styling, it now give me a purpose as to why I joined it. Because like I always say, it's way more detailed and intentional as regards other styling. Because I mean, I have to, on a normal day, I'm looking at, okay, what shirt am I wearing, what trouser? When it comes to wedding styling, I'm now thinking of what neckline would suit this particular bride, what silhouette of dress, what length, what fabric goes with this design I've put together. So it's like there's a whole lot more of intentionality that goes into wedding and bridal styling. And then you also have our grooms. And I'll tell you, it's not very easy because wedding clients are a whole lot more opinionated. And you have to work with their opinions, take it in very well, and see how you can also translate it into a dress that you like. And sometimes you might have a client whose opinions aren't necessarily the best fashionable. How do you exactly, work around it to either make their opinion stand out or to let them see that their opinion isn't really working? You just have to, sometimes it takes a call. You call the client and you get on the phone call and try it. First of all, you have to understand exactly why they are so persistent about that opinion or whatever it is they want for that particular thing. You see it, then you now find a way to work with. If by all means you can't generate something that works with the entire look about that particular thing, then you now find a way of bringing your own idea and seeing how you can marry the two things together and put looks that are very satisfactory for the clients. Because as a fashion stylist, it's not just about creating looks, it's about catering to your clients. You can put out the best look, where your client doesn't like it, you've not done anything. So if your client is not comfortable in it, if it doesn't fit well, if you're catering to the clients. And that's why at the end of the day, as a fashion stylist, the experience you create for your clients is very paramount, rather than even the clothes you are making for them.
We talked about experience. We're going to delve more into that when we return from the break. And if you're like me, I know you want to hear so much more about bridal wardrobe styling. Because I mean, What really is that? And why should I invest my money into getting styled? I could just wear my white dress and go and walk down the aisle, right? Anyway, we'll be back in a sec. Don't go nowhere. I have been here with Joseph Dappa of Signature Styling and Talk to Dappa Style Agency, Abuja. He's been sharing with us his experience styling brides and making their day memorable so that it will last a lifetime. And he talked about experience, making their experiences memorable and enjoyable. So we're going to ask him much more about that. Joseph, you're welcome again.
Thank you.
You talked about creating an experience that will stand out for the bride
Yes.
and those that are involved in the wedding. But tell us a bit about how you're able to manage the pressure, because I know it gets too much. So, what really do you even look out for, first of all, in trying to style a bride? What do you look out for? And then, how do you marry the experience, what you look out for, everything together? Just give us more detail into that.
Okay, so you have a bride or a client, bride to be reach out to you, and you first of all, they reach out to you, understand what it is that their needs and everything. Then you now schedule a proper consultation call with them, where during that consultation call, you're going to find out, are there any particular dresses she's been feeling? You also find out the wedding events that they are going to be having. It's a Nigerian wedding. We have more than one event. So, yeah. And especially as a stylist in Abuja that works with northern brides, they have a series of events. They have the camel, the nikah, the wushe wushe, they have the Lafaya events and all of that. They have dinner, they have cocktails. And each of these dresses, the very key and wonderful thing about the northern wedding space is that, especially for the brides, is that they have specific outfits for each particular event. They have the ones where they are wearing the ashoke fabric. Mm-hmm. They have the one where they are just dripping fabric around their body. Then they have like the cocktail where it's more like a dinner or evening themed event with a lot of sparkles and all of that. So they already have in quotes a criteria for you to work with. So you reach out and have a consultation call and get to understand the events they're having. You understand their style. You understand the looks, the number of looks they want for these things. Then you also ask for their pictures. You ask for their pictures. You ask them their favorite colors. You ask them, because in as much as you're a stylist, this person knows themselves better than you do. So you ask them their favorite colors, the colors they've noticed that sits well on them, then the colors that they're not comfortable with. And I could tell you could meet a client who the best color on her might end up not being her favorite color. So you now end up wondering how exactly do you make a compromise and navigate around it. So all this happens during the consultation call, just basically getting to know the bride. Then after your consultation call, we now move forward to mood board creation, which is where all the research goes down. You're researching. As a fashion stylist, regardless of any field, you have to do a lot of research. You work with data. You're going through magazines, you're going through Instagram, you're going through websites, you're going through Pinterest. And me, I've also included a few other inspiration apps like Cosmos and the rest, but just so that I can be able to create something that is very wonderful for them during the mood board presentation. So you put your mood board together, and the funny thing is you can't put what you do not expect to be created. So when you're putting these looks together, you have to have in mind what designer can be able to create this look. You are not just seeing something online and it's pretty, and for the fact that it's pretty, you put it for the bride. No. You have to think, is it working with their body? Is it achievable? Like, think about it. I will tell you there are a couple of times when I'm creating a mood board and I'm like, this idea is so nice, but I don't think I know anyone that can masterfully interpret that idea. So instead of now putting that, then now creating more work for myself with the designer and whatnot, it's best to play to the designer's strengths that you work with. So you have to make sure that is in play. Then you now have your mood board presentation where after you put everything together, you have to now present it to the client. And I can tell you, you can put 1,001 looks together for that client, and that presentation comes and the client might not be feeling it.
Wow. After all the research, all the work,
Yes.
all the sleepless nights.
And you just have to go back and rework on it. So it's like that. And it's funnier when you have a bride who reaches out like way before, because you could have like a mood board down now. As at when it's 3 months to the wedding, you not even the bride themselves, you as a stylist could not be feeling it anymore. And you're like, let's create something more. Let's create something new. And it's like, okay, we're changing it. And that's it. Then I talk about another funny thing that I had to learn on the job is when you're suggesting jewelries and accessories for each of these looks. It's not just to go to Pinterest and find a beautiful shoe and say, okay, I think this will go with this look. That shoe you've put, if that client falls in love with it and you are not able to find it, what are you going to do?
Hey, God.
So what you do, what is the best approach to it is you go to the designer's websites and you check for shoes that are actually in season, shoes that can be easily sourced, and then you now put it on the mood board for them. Jewelry, same goes for jewelries, because you might find something very amazing and it's maybe one obscure designer in Bali or wherever that happens to have had their work go viral. How do you find that person to create that distance? So you have to make sure that in as much as you're putting in beautiful looks together for your clients, you also have to be very practical and realistic. And then you also have to work with their budgets. Everybody doesn't have the same budget. You also have to work with their taste. Some brides want a minimalistic, clean look. Some brides want to go all out. Some bride wants flirty. Some bride wants conservative. There's a recent bride we had that she has an ashoke dress for us to, make, and all she just wanted was something very clean and classic. She didn't want to do too much. As at the time we saw the first sample of the dress, we weren't excited. It didn't have a wow factor to it. So I had to sit down with my boss and we're like, okay, we need to, what exactly can we do to add a wow factor to this dress, but still meet the bride's criteria of it has to be minimalistic, and we did a lot of research and, we put something that we're happy with and the client was also happy with. So it takes a whole lot. It's not just, I've come to meet you, okay, this is it, this is that. You're basically putting everything from scratch to the final detail for the bride. And as a stylist in general, you also have to make sure the beauty teams and the media teams you're working with are able to provide very outstanding visuals for these brides. Because, you cannot have put together a look and then the client is telling you, okay, suggest photographers or suggest beauty artists, and you're going to now find someone whose strength doesn't place to it.
But is it your job? Your job is just to design how she looks. Why is
no? As a style, that is why I call myself the image architect.
Okay.
So I'm selling you the entire look, but now it also depends on what the client reaches out to you for. Okay. The client can reach out to you just solely for you to create their look, or they can reach out to you to take entire creative control of what your wedding outfits would look like. So you're taking in consideration the making of the outfits. You're suggesting the beauty artists that can masterfully provide the makeup that would best complement that outfit. You're thinking of the gele artist, because you have to have a gele artist if it has a gele. If it's a Muslim bride, the turban and everything, you're thinking of it. You also have to think of the photographer. You also have to think if there's a hair. You also have to think of the hairstylist that can achieve it. if it like it's a whole lot of well thought out creativity that if you're not really intentional, if you're not detailed about it, it will show in your work. Wedding styling is not like the others. Wedding styling will show when you are intentional.
I do not envy your work at all. I do not envy your work at all. I was super pumped. Right now, I'm thinking, this is stress. Why do we begin and end? Because it feels endless, honestly. It feels like this will not finish even until the wedding is over.
It doesn't finish because I mean, even okay, you finish creating the looks, you've put together the beauty themes and everything. On the wedding day, you also have to create like a wedding day mood board where okay, you've taken a picture of what the bride's dress looks like at her final fitting. You know, okay, if this the bride is installing a frontal, okay, put a picture of what the frontal will look like. You're putting a picture of what you want the front of the face to look like, what you want the back of the head to look like. You're putting a picture of the heels there, a picture of the exact clutch she's using for it. You're putting a picture of the exact earring she's using for it, the exact necklace she's using for it. So it's like an intentional process all the way to the end. And if you're not having a photo shoot, you now have to make sure that the photographer is capturing her best angles. You know, like this background you're using, does it work well with the color we've chosen for this dress? The concept you're using, does it work well? And then, there's something very funny about shooting with Muslim couples, especially me who works very closely during with the grooms during the photo shoot process is that they wear a lot of babariga, which is also known as agbada, but basically that's structure. And if you notice, babariga structure is not as stiff as the ashoke, so it falls down a lot. So you're always adjusting. And recently, I have to come up with I'm putting pins. I literally always go to any photo shoot with pins. So like I put a pin to hold it here, I put a pin to hold it here. So it has to be, there. Then you're at the photo shoot, you're also steaming. So a cloth like it has been brought from the laundry, but nobody wants to see the lines that were created from the fold. So you're steaming it out, making sure that everything is prim and proper. Because when that picture is released tomorrow, besides the client may not necessarily have an issue with it, but would that particular work speak to your expertise and skill level? Would you be proud to post? Would you be proud to say, I was a stylist behind this look? Because personally, I'm at a point in my career where if I'm not proud of anything, I'm not working on it, not even talking of putting it out. So if you come to me, whether it's bridal or normal, if it's something that I know that doesn't speak to me creatively, I'm not thinking of jumping on it, not thinking of even whether I would post it or not. So that's the way it is. It has to, speak everything you're doing has to speak to your creative level, and you just have to get better and better and better. And I mean, a couple days ago, I was showing my younger ones a picture from a photo shoot I did, and they were telling me that your creativity has really improved this year. And I was like,
Aww.
thank you. Like, that's the goal.
We
want to keep
celebrate you.
improving. Yes.
I think this session requires to ask because there's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about. But it's been a joy having you.
Yes.
And we are grateful for the stories that you've shared. And your mentor said the passion should be making money. So even if the work is Herculean, as I feel, because I mean, I have to know somebody's body type, somebody's size, somebody's skin tone, I'll just tire. But since the passion is making money, I wish you the best. May all the stars align perfectly in your direction.
Thank you.
So that next year again, we'll say you have gotten a notch higher.
Yes.
Yeah. Joseph has helped you and I to understand that styling is not just about who you are, but how to honor yourself and how to share a story the loudest to the world. If you enjoyed this episode as much as we both did, like, subscribe, shout it out to your friends, your frenemies, your enemies, your exes, everybody. You should come here and watch this for the love of law, storytelling, elegance, and style. This has been Lois Swobodo and a hell of a podcast.